Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Starbase friends around the world. Astro Joe here for RGV Aerial Photography, Starbase Weekly, episode 162. Got a great batch of photos from Wednesday, taken, Wednesday, right about this time. So, right about 3 days ago, almost exactly to the minute. I'll pass it on over to your host, Stephanie, this week.
G'day from Australia, g'day from Starbase, Texas. I'm your host today, Stephanie B, and with me today I have Alex. G'day, Alex.
Hey, Steph, how's everything going?
Good, still midwinter for us Aussies over here, so nice chilly mornings. It'll be a frost this morning coming up soon. The sun hasn't risen yet, but we'll face that when that happens. Okay, we're going to start over at Massey's today, as usual. Okay, and we'll start over at the new Methane tank farm section, which is progressing nicely. So this week we can see they've got more rebar and on the wall sections, and we've got some wall formwork up. Now it looks like the trench is definitely finishing right there, which is kind of odd. So they've got it underground over here, and then they're going to pop it above ground, or so it appears, for the last little bit, which is strange. What do you make of that, Alex?
I'm still waiting. I mean, they might be popping it up and having a secondary sort of three-walled structure to protect some of the valves and stuff that they normally have in this area.
So we've still got to have that whole valve assembly for the gases, don't we, in here somewhere?
More than likely.
Which could be to do with these pop-ups here, I'd imagine. And these seem to be slightly different. Have you noticed? Slightly different conduit. They're kind of like flexi and black rather than the conventional grey stuff they use.
Some of those look like the fiberglass risers that they're switching to, since they're a bit stronger, don't have as many UV degradation issues.
Yep. So I can see some existing conduit runs here they're tying into in here for these sort of control boxes everywhere. So in this area they could have gone through here and put the electrical somewhere else, but they seem to have decided to finish the main trench here, and now they've run electrical work, continuing to run electrical work, picking up old stuff all over the place.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of placement might have been dictated by without having to put a bunch of vaults everywhere as sort of junction points.
Yep,
But yeah,
really
you're right.
Go.
Some of those are odd how small diameter they are.
Yeah. It's a bit of a maze of, I suppose, everywhere under Starbase, it's a bit of a maze of electrical conduits. I haven't found the main high voltage stuff yet. Maybe it's underneath and they've already brought it up. I'd have to take a closer look at older photos.
I believe it's right by the track on the link belt.
Just there.
The lower one, a little bit further down. Yeah.
Okay, and that's probably where the transformer actually was, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or transformers. Okay, so we got our little bunkhouse, which looks like the new and improved Model 2 of the electrical bunkhouse. Looks a little bit more sturdy. Looks a bit like the building they built for the Starlink base over there at Sanchez with the massive concrete walls and a roof to come on yet. You'd think that they might put the high voltage transformers in here maybe out of the way yet too.
I think that's probably likely.
So of course ground level's going to be up here. This is still below grade here. This slab down here is way below grade, so it appears that finished grade level could be somewhere up here at the base of that door perhaps. And they won't need a ladder after all, a staircase after all.
Right.
And like the building at Starlink, you can see it's got a raised flooring inside. Actually, they've got some flooring already in there, so looks like the conduits are going to come in like through these sort of holes. See a bunch of them down there, and there's probably a bunch of them along that wall as well. So they'll probably all come in underneath and then pop up where they need to be inside.
I believe that's formwork and they're pouring a floor.
So, yeah, pouring concrete.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, that would make sense. So massive amounts of more conduits coming up through here from the actual farm itself over here. Oh, there's ship 38 making a camo appearance. Over to the side, they've lifted these hippos into place and continuing to build up the frames. So the pumps will be in the middle here, and the valves. There's the manifold underneath, like they saw at the OLMB's new pump farm. More excavation around this area. Is this where they have two? Is this where they put all the rocks just to put them out of the way? They put them in here?
Yeah. The joke's on them. Now they're digging it up.
So it looks like they're going to pick up the locks from way over here. Continue like we expected, and it appears the trench may also continue into here perhaps. And they've left this nice little bit of strip of concrete here just because.
Not our job. Yeah, it's curious how's the methane lines are going to tie into this trench, because excavating under that tank will be fun if they're indeed trying to go that direction.
I wonder if this is where's the outlets over here, isn't it? On this side over here.
Yeah, that's the outlets of the pumps, and they'll go through the
Then the
heat
hippos.
subcoolers, through the reboilers, and then some
Okay.
valves, and then into. But since the tank is on piles, would be the easiest to dig on because you wouldn't be concerned about it moving or anything.
So they're either going to come through here and underneath or around there, which seems a bit silly.
Yeah, sort of seems to defeat the purpose if they go around the front.
Now, that knockdown tank, where did it go?
I did not see where they moved it to. I know they.
Oh, there it is. I knew they stood it up. Sorry about that, and my apologies. I kind of had a little memory slip there. So they may still be able to use that flame stack trench after all, perhaps.
Yeah, they'll probably have to perhaps re-pour the entry hole to it.
I don't think they're going under there, Alex, by the look at that. Perhaps.
No.
I'm not sure what they're going to do here.
Yeah, it's curious. Because, yeah, that looks like they just put some pads there for high-pressure tanks.
Oh, of course, yep, under there, yep. To protect them. Use the big tank to protect little tanks, that's the go.
Using all their storage tanks as armor.
They are, aren't they, over here as well, yep. Well, they fared well the first time round, so why not?
They're very strong.
One of the 2 or 3 burnt out machines is still on site. So that's pretty well the methane farm. Continuing along, just have to keep an eye on all that in the very near future. That's going to happen a lot quicker than we think, I would imagine. Over the LOX side, they're increasing the LOX capacity here as well. You can see the old hippos used on the methane farm. Looks like they're going to be repurposed for the methane hippos. Looks like they're going to be reused as LOX hippos. Down here we have once again another set of skids or frames at least. They're skids, these are frames I suppose, for the LOX pumps. And manifold in there. Remember from the launch site they have the manifold down lower underneath. And they come up and then up to the pumps here and then up to the outlet valves and then onto the outlet manifold. So somehow in here they're going to have to make the LOX come from this line through the pumps, back through the chillers, and then back out here to the cryo or further on to the static bias area. So I'm not sure would they sub-chill. Are they sub-chilled here? They have put the sub-chillers on for cryo testing, haven't they?
It appears they have flooded them. Whether or not they're actively cooling is another. It doesn't look like it because there's no frost on the exhaust manifold for the nitrogen.
So this is post. So we've got frosting here, obviously, because Ship 38 here just finished a cryo test. So because it just finished, perhaps this has already warmed up, being summer and all.
Yeah.
Although that's still evaporating, wouldn't there still be vapors coming through?
Yeah, it's just slowly boiling away.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like from that they just were draining the lines by the future skids. There's a nice little LOX on the ground.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a drain there. They've been draining. So maybe they didn't recover the LOX, or they've just some extra bit of LOX.
They don't recover all of it.
Cool. Over here with the testing, are these the engine chill lines? They seem to go nowhere. Yeah. They seem to be just sitting on bricks, just sitting down there. I've got a better photo of that, actually. So, yeah, good to see testing continuing here at Massey. So 38 was able to be tested, which means we're correct in our assumptions that this part of the Massey's tank farm is not being damaged beyond use. So that's good to see happening. They're still a little bit away from being able to do a static fire, obviously, but that's not needed for a little while.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the entire proofing manifolds and pipeways are going to be reworked, so it won't be as serpentine as a path as it appears.
You think this will all be reworked? Because they've got some time now before they need to do any cryo testing too, I imagine, because they won't need this until ship 39, which is still a ways off.
Yeah.
Okay, over to the new cryostat, the new cryostatic stand, the new cryo testing stand for the booster. They've added a few supports here for the actual BQDs. They've obviously, the big change obviously is they've moved the whole stand from its construction area to its testing area. I'm not really sure why, perhaps for final fit checks.
Move it
Or
out
just
the way.
get it out of the way, yeah. Although maybe just get out of the way of the cryo testing. There's not much.
Stan's seen a lot already. No staff. Hey, Joe, since it
Yeah,
seems
I'm here. I
we
got you. We lost Steph, yeah.
do we have any questions till she pops back?
I did have a question regarding your username, the story behind your username.
It's for x86 machine code when the accumulation register for counting. So it's the high bit when they switch to 32, I believe.
That's awesome. Right on.
Yes.
Well, we'll take some time to acknowledge Geocoxix Californius for becoming a new member, and Chromatic for gifting a membership, as well as Mr. Mauricio himself, RGV Area Photography, gifting 10 memberships. Just discovered the ability to do that, which is pretty cool. Callistia Lee gifted 5 memberships, and James Wilson gifted 5, as well as Jake Winlow gifted 5. Thank you all for that awesome support. Looks like Steph is definitely having some technical difficulties there, but she did mention that there is some backup internet options, so hopefully that'll come back for us here real soon.
Indeed.
Oh, hi, I'm back.
All right, there you are.
Apologies for that. Kick in.
All right, we got you.
Hmm.
How you doing there, Steph?
Thicker internet, probably. Her backup seems as reliable as mine.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. What to talk about?
I mean, I didn't even download the photos locally this week, so I can't even jump in with them.
Yeah, me neither. Let's see.
Am I back online?
There you are.
Hey, hello. I apologise for that, everybody. Never mind.
It happens.
Let's just plug away. Now, sorry, back to the LOX tanks for the third time. It appears it's a bit tricky too because it's hard to tell when I've dropped out.
You're back.
Cool. So it appears that it's still doing work on the LOX tanks there, perhaps, and up for the third time now. Perhaps all this will change, I guess, once they put those new pumps in, will it, Alex? All this as well?
It appears, and it does look like they might have room for a third pump if they decide.
Oh, there is two. Yep, there is two. Yep. Okay, so we talked about this. Did you hear me talking about this test article?
No.
Okay, well, man, was I at the... Jeez. That really sucks. Anyhow, so this whole test area seems to be stagnated. There's some papers here. Would that be something to do with the testing of 38?
Yeah, they're probably just venting off some of the liquid nitrogen they were using. There's there's one of the diffuser fans in that area. I think there's two of them there.
Yeah, there is. There's two. Yep. There's one back there you can't quite see. Yep.
Yeah. Chugging away.
So they've still got a couple of rams to put in up here. I really appreciate everyone's patience just then. Thank you very much. So yeah, a couple of more rams to put in there.
Scaffolding to remove.
There's some scaffolding, yeah. So it seems to have quite stagnated for the time being here, which is interesting. Okay, moving over to booster 13, I believe. We've got 5 engines. There's one just behind here. There's 5 engines being removed from this section. We can see a power head, an engine bell had been removed and a power head still in there. Look at this week. It's a good image of how the shielding around the engine moves with the engine and sort of the extent of the thrust vectoring available on these engines. Oh, 13 has seen some things.
Yeah. I didn't realize that the shielding went that far down.
Yeah, I think we've learnt quite a few things from this booster being recovered between all the modelers and everyone who has a great interest in these boosters, which is quite a lot of us. There's the 5th engine down there. Okay. Now, to finish off Masses, the big news of Masses this week, and I guess, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due, was an interesting little show and tell we had on Wednesday your time, Thursday morning my time. We're looking at these frames here from Sanchez, and we're all speculating whether they're all these crazy ideas like we do. We're speculating that they may be for covering the trench to allow them to get this static fire stand out and our good friend Zach decided to pop in and say, no, they're for the new gantry for the quick disconnect for the ship. And so they're the floors. So there'll be a horizontal floor up here and up here. So they're the flooring for the gantry. And I'm going to pop over to Sanchez presently, which means the side frame will be, one leg will be up on the old mounts up here, and then the other mount will be down on this level concrete. So quickly pop over to Sanchez. We can actually see those pieces right here, and we can see that actual step down here for those frames, and we can see here where the frames will attach to this side frame. So that was an interesting little development there at Sanchez. And just while we're here, we can see they've removed the work platform off the sliding platform. So that's all looking very good. Also of note this week is part of the aft thrust puck that was ejected down into the trench has been removed, and 2 engines.
Yes.
Oh, there is a second belt. Oh, God, it's pretty mangled, eh?
Yeah. They
And a
don't.
bit of... Oh, sorry.
They don't like being dropped.
No, not just dropped, but yeah, propulsively ejected. A bit of downcomer. Would that be the headed tank downcomer, perhaps?
I think that's one of the. Is that one of the RVAC?
Ah, of course, yep. Could be, yep.
And I'm wondering if the larger portion buys a puck as part of the pogo suppression on the one on the ground still. The flex line where it flares out there, where your hand is.
Ah, in here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so this is inside the LOX tank, isn't it, this bit?
Yes.
This is the right way up. See, I always thought that was... Anyhow, I was last week years old when I realised that the thrust puck for the ship goes down and then back up again. I mean, the aft dome. And the R-backs are mounted up here, on which I realised, up on the actual dome. Okay, so I think we can switch over to questions and donations now, Joe.
All right, we did handle support while we were waiting for your return, but I do have a question from Crane Man. Do the square and rectangular patches on the static fire stand mean that it will be strengthened, perhaps?
I believe those were test areas where they were doing their non-destructive test of the legs to see if there's any damage to them from the fire.
Coupons.
Not quite. Non-destructive.
No. Yeah.
They just marked the coupons. They didn't cut them yet.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is seriously the only question that I had pending in my queue here.
Okay, cool. Quick look at the storage slot. There's some vaporizers ready for the launch site. I think they're counterweight trays, are they not?
Yeah, it's the Stinger and tray for Marvin.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, the Stinger as well, yeah. Just a few odds and sods. So they like to put the odd few things here.
The new deluge extension pipes.
Yeah, for the new tanks. Oh, and those little these were
Yeah, the
static fire.
no, those are the reinforcement gussets that they put on the joint.
Yeah, but they've been removed from the launch site because of the static fire, I think.
Right. A lot of that moved.
And quickly over to Rio West. Things are progressing as we expect once again. These look quite finished in a nice, trendy, modern sort of a look. I think I like it. Yeah, I think I like it. The top deck on this one seems to be pretty well finished. Getting a bit of workout today. Some people actually looking out of the lookout. I'm wondering, I guess they're having decks as well. They just haven't got there yet.
It
Over
appears.
yonder. Oh, sorry.
No, it appears because it looks like the bridge from the stairwell connects both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm expecting to have a viewing platform. So over yonder, these apartment buildings are once again progressing in a. All of the buildings are progressing in a assembly line type manner. Now off to the side, I seem to be doing something out here, but I'm not sure what. I'd have thought maybe that some of the soil from the launch site was being moved here, but I don't think so. See, out here they're dumping. I don't know whether they're dumping or digging dirt out here. Looks like they're actually digging dirt, doesn't it? Out there.
Most of the soil from the launch site in Giga Bay wouldn't be good for fill because most of the fill you use is engineered and graded, unless you're doing sort of a bulk fill. Low down, it's kind of worthless in its current form.
Yeah, it's that sandy stuff. I remember when they did the build site there many years ago at the launch site, they pushed a lot of that dirt out of the way and then brought in many truckloads of a more, I guess it's a bit more, like you said, structurally sound sort of soil. Which I think this has a bit extra clay in it, because just straight sand isn't very good to build anything on, is it?
It's graded. It's the size of the aggregate and is all uniform, so compress it. You don't really want clay in your fill, actually. It's kind of expansive, so.
Okay, cool. Over at where the BQDs were constructed, you can see there some more things from the launch site. I'm pretty sure got moved down here. These are the gantry. I guess you still call it the gantry. There's many different names now for the utilities building beside the OLM there at OLMB. Everyone seems to have an opinion on what should be called. The doors are still here, so let's keep an eye on that area. Over by the transport stand, one thing we did notice this week is they've started to put. Does this photo show it? I might need a different photo. They've started to put here you can just see them here. The pieces of steel that connect the actuators to the actual slides there on the outside. So that's still getting worked on slowly. Once again, it doesn't need to be finished for quite some time.
There's differing opinions on how long it'll be.
So they really don't need anything till booster 18 comes along, correct?
Correct.
And well, it hasn't even got an ARP section yet, so it's only like 3/4 of a LOX tank, or maybe 7/8 of a LOX tank so far. Which is, yeah, it's interesting because they haven't done any of that testing over there at Massey's, so not sure what's going on there.
Traditionally, they've done the testing last.
Yeah, true. Okay, moving along. Sanchez is going to be quick, I think, this week. We've got the top ring for the new workstation for the right-hand side of Mega Bay 2. So there's some thoughts here, or maybe it's just not really thoughts, that maybe this could indicate some kind of change in the clamp system, but on second thoughts and second looks, it looks like they could very well be much the same. So there's a bit of a debate whether the clamps are going to get moved from the hot stage ring or not to the to the ship, but there's many arguments on either side of that, so I'm not really sure what's going on there yet. We'll just have to really wait and see.
I have no opinion on that, shockingly.
You have an opinion?
No, not on this.
Oh, you
Which is
don't have
kinda
an
odd.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right?
I rely on your opinions a lot of times there. Come on, you got to have an opinion for me, please. Okay, moving on to these mysterious work platforms. We did see one get moved to the Star Factory through the week. So it appears that's their final form. You can see another one being constructed over here. So there's another platform for that one, and then two more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's at least 5 of these. But there's still many. Oh, there's even more this week. Many more parts for more of these. That piece of steel there you can see with those little notches, little lugs on it. These pieces, I believe, with the angle ends. So there's a ton more of them still to build. Many more of these. So whatever they are.
They lower the barrel sections down and work on them in here.
Yeah, it looks like these are putting barrel sections over the top of for sure. Especially with these, there's not one shame with it sitting up. Hey, this one's different.
I think that's the top level, like, oh, yeah, no, you're...
It doesn't have the platforms. Huh, okay, I didn't even notice that one. So these ones here, these all have the platforms? Okay. That's just one odd one out of all of them. Huh. Of course, for SpaceX.
It looks like it's a top piece. That one that you had your hand on, of the center column, that looks like they have the lugs sticking out for attaching the support arms, like that one has.
Yeah, this one's not sure. We haven't seen this. And are they bolted? They're welded, aren't they?
Yeah.
So this is a new type of barrel section.
Correct.
We haven't seen that at all yet. So that may have something to do with that. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Central hole, like
all the others, which is not access, is it? Access is no, it's not big enough to, or is it big enough for a manhole?
It's probably ventilation, especially if they're lowering a dome over it. I mean, a barrel section.
Yeah, these may be access. Oh, look, they're getting some kind of electrical or whatever utilities mounted in there as well. Looks like some kind of board.
Those platforms are probably electrically or hydraulically actuated.
Oh, these down here, maybe, yeah.
Because down on the lower one by the crane outrigger, you can see one of them's folded up, partially in front of the crane. Yeah.
That they're in sections. Oh, yeah. That's weird. I don't think we'd noticed that before. Oh, here, I see. There's a section one here too. Okay, very good. Okay, moving on to the SQD. Told you Sanchez was going to be quick. And not much work on the SQD this week. It must be weird working on something sideways that's going to be vertical later on, I've always said. So some more actual panels to go here. Yeah, just bear with me while I find this one photo. This one might do it. Something changed on this stabilizer arm. That piece there used to be welded to this piece here, so for some reason they're changing the design on that stabilizer.
Is that pin? The pin looks different.
And the pin there, there's a actual pin on it. I'm not sure what's going on there. So
Looks
last
like
week it did have that pin.
It looks like it's can move.
Yeah, it does look like it's already like sitting down, yeah. So let me think. Is that the actual attachment point to the ship and booster?
I believe so. It's the lower point.
So that's the booster and ship to go into that little socket for the
Yeah.
stabilizer arm. Yep. I'll have to keep an eye on that. So those, oh, that one's got the same wonky pin over there too. We'll call that the wonky pin. That's its official name now, the wonky pin system.
Perfect.
A little bit of cryopipe here, perhaps getting ready to be put in the arm.
They still haven't run any supports for it yet.
No, there's a very slow progress on this arm.
Yeah, it's all the fiddly pipes, because if you look on the vertical section, it's just covered.
Yeah, there's plenty of pipes in here. I think they're pipes too and not actual conduits. There's going to be a heap of conduits run as well, yeah. They look like flanges, don't they, rather than electrical connections?
Correct. They've been letting the electricians work on it last on the bunker gantry, what you call it, building.
Yeah. Might just leave it as gantry for today, Alex.
Okay.
I had a dream about this, funny enough. Probably shouldn't go there, but and this the second half of this was completely different to what this one was, to what the old one was. So maybe I foresaw this, but maybe not. Anywho, so there is a chance that this end of the QD could look significantly different on the new one.
I expect it to look completely different.
And because I dreamed it, that's the way it's going to be. Okay. Oh, there's a build site photo. I think last week we saw more of these as well, because there was only really 5 days between the photos, so you'll have to bear with us. There's not that much to go over this week.
The static fire soaked up a lot of the work week for them.
Yeah, so I believe all the engines have been removed from the generator plant, gas plant, I don't know, electrical plant. Here, this plant room anyway. So all the gen sets are gone. Most of everything around here is gone. A good question came up in show and tell. Does this mean these tanks will get removed and reused again for the how many time this time?
Definitely getting removed, but I think they moved that fan by the vertical tank.
That was there last week. They might have moved it since these photos, though.
No, I think it used to be down where's on that where that conduit is. I thought it was sitting there previously. Curious.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do. This little bit of excavation, a little bit of horizontal boring. So getting ready to pour concrete on that one. They pulled in water pipes, I believe, across to here. And can we see them coming out yet? They must still be under there. So it appears that they're going to run the mains water into this water system here to supply water. I guess I think all the water for the whole site, build site, and Sanchez all comes back to this area. So that looks like they're going to bring the mains in and use fresh water from town. Okay, we'll quickly look down here. There's not a lot of change down here.
A ton of heavy-duty embeds are building.
That's correct. So for the Gigabay, I would imagine.
I
Oh, for the
launch site.
launch site for the staging area.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good thought. Yep. Actually, there's quite a few of these. You can see them over here getting built. Somewhere in here. Where were they?
All over the place.
Yeah, here's one here getting built.
It's pulling electrical.
I think they'd finished all electrical on this site, but yeah, they're pulling electrical from somewhere to somewhere.
By hand. Ouch.
Would they have a pull machine at the other end, perhaps?
They better.
I wonder where that goes. I don't know. I haven't looked around these photos close enough to see where the other end of that is.
Probably is that in there.
Maybe they're pulling it out. Oh no, they got drums there. Oh, there's another work vehicle there. Let's see. So there's some electrical conduits here. Where are they working on that?
I'm assuming inside that building where the truck was.
Yeah. Oh, inside this building down here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So there seems to be some vacant spots here for more things in the future. Okay. These frames, mystery frames here. They're still not sure what they are. Quite a lot of speculation still. It looks like this piece will be vertical. I mean, that way vertical on top of this. It appears like those may attach here and that one over there. Seems to have some kind of hydraulic actuator with pins to stick out. We've probably gone over that way too many times, so we still have no idea what that is.
It's a structural test fixture. There's 4 very large actuators for it. Up to the right. On the lower right corner. Upper right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those.
They're very beefy. They're very, very strong with that cross-sectional area. There's still a couple of clamp bits, not clamp, the linkages for the clamps. So I wonder where those 4 actuators are going to end up being.
The
Maybe
4
in
corners.
here. Ah.
Yeah, I think it'll be either vertical or hanging.
Gotcha, yeah.
Because you won't put lateral load on your hydraulic cylinders if you're smart. Yeah, the frame looks like it's assembled very much like a crane boom with the automatic hydraulic pins for ease of assembly.
Yep.
It has a label on it, but I haven't been able to find any shots on the horizontal ones from the side shots. But none of them are clear.
Cool. No one in show and tell linked those rams to this frame. Very good. Because, yeah, it was unusual to have such great big holes like that, just to bolt that to that. So that makes perfect sense for these lugs here. We call them cleats, whatever we call these, for mounting rams, and that seems to be perfect for that. And they've even got the double ends on these to go over those holes, so that looks exactly right there, Alex.
Those ends of that structure are they look
These
very
ends?
reminiscent of the where the ship cutie connects to the tower. But I think the spacing is completely wrong.
Something to do with the ship QD.
The big square lugs are very reminiscent of the ends of where the ship cutie attaches to the tower. But I mean, they're just
Oh, yeah.
large square lugs, so.
I see what you mean, yeah.
But it's definitely too short to have anything to do with that.
Yeah, true, yeah. Whatever it is, it's very strong. Someone in Shotel said maybe it has something to do with tipping vehicles over, but I'm not sure about that either. Okay, let's just move on here. Over to the Rocket Garden. Last week we saw the new pathway, and we've seen the Remios avenues being used this week. We saw that last week as well. This is not, maybe they still will use that outlet. Not sure about that. So not much to report there. The what do you call it? The Raptor truck has made a visit. Not sure whether they're delivering crates or taking empty crates away. Maybe both. I think we can switch over to questions, Joe.
All right, a question from Crane Man regarding that white ring that Alex has no opinion on. Are the holes in the white ring not just for the lead-ins?
These are where the clamps on the other ones were mounted. This is the clamp mounts. Because lead-ins, this is the one he's talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, these don't have lead-ins. These just have clamps. This is the workstation, the raised workstations that we've seen before in Mega Bay 2. I'll just quickly go over there.
Those look like they're for passing hydraulics or other controls from. 'Cause if you look on the sides of it, there's definitely a pass-through. So it's probably just where the clamp actuators are.
We don't have a shop in the front. So the elevated workstations here in Mega Bay 2. So that's the top ring of it, obviously. The legs bolt on down there. The pass-through, yeah. There could be, I mean, there could even be a mechanism underneath was one other thought I had, Alex, that maybe to do with the clamps. And I'm not sure. I don't remember these. I should go back and have a look. I tried, but all I came up with was a booster ring.
You can vaguely make out the bolt holes on the top plate on the one on the right. Yeah.
Yes, I know they just for the clamps. Well, whatever the mechanism, the clamping mechanism, whichever half. It's looking more and more like the hot stage ring's still going to have the clamps. Looking at this, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. Thanks, Joe.
Sure, yeah. A question from Daniel Hogbin. Have we seen evidence of what the ship QD will look like for Pad 2? Will it be split like it is for the V3 boosters?
No. Well, there is. We did see that article came out with 2 ports, but not split like the boosters split like on, what it is, however many degrees it is. It's like 2 very
72.
different. 72, yeah. So it's split like, very from one side of the booster to the other, really. Whereas this is going to be like a single QD, but maybe 2 ports. Maybe split like in a Tana, but they're going to be very close together. It's going to be interesting, actually, because the new ship QDs isn't exactly known yet. We've only got that one article to go by, which we saw there many months ago now. Good question.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, a question from Kai Nessel. What is the big gray frame by the SQD? Looks like a Megabay section.
I think those are the legs for the new gantry for the hot fire stand at Massey's.
Exactly.
Cool.
I'll just go back to that. I probably wasn't that clear. I might have even dropped out. Over to the side here. So these are the floors to go horizontally across. And on the side here, there's going to be two frames on the sides. And one, this is the old mounting points for the old gantry. So one leg will mount here. Another one's going to be down on that grade. So if we look back here, we can see that difference here. So that's where the old mount for the old gantry is. And this one's going down on the lower grade of concrete. And then those flooring panels over Massey's go one here and one up there. So Massey's has been designed. I have good info that Zach has, sorry, that this system's all being designed by the same people that designed the new launch Launchpad 2. So everything's getting beefed up dramatically. So this is sort of not similar to the gantry at the launch site, but it's beefed up a lot more. So they're the floors and they're the frames. Thanks, Joe.
And it's also for working on it. Everything's not as jammed in. So ergonomics.
More elegant.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably twice as wide as the previous one.
Well, it is. The other one was only sort of like that wide.
Yeah.
And now they're going right across to sort of here somewhere. That was funny, actually, that show and tell, because we're all coming up with all these crazy, silly ideas of what these are for, and Zach just pops in, no, that's the gantry, by the way. And we're like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And then we get here and going, oh, of course it's for the gantry.
Yeah. I missed show and tell, but I saw the photos. I'm like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Cool.
you, Jay.
Yeah, can't wait to see that come together. That'll be fun. I do have a couple of questions that came through chat that did not make it through to the chat bot, so those won't come in over the overlay. But Federusis, could the black frames with the large hydraulic rams be a lifting jig for a Starlink loader?
Positioning, perhaps. Yeah, you could lift it, and then you could, if it was hanging, you could use the hydraulics to position. Yeah, I could see it.
Maybe.
If the frame was sitting on the ground was sitting on top of the Starlink box, and the two large hooks on that were to the bridge cranes, I could definitely entertain that.
Wouldn't you think it's a bit massively overbuilt for that? Was the only
Let's
thought
see.
there.
How much does a new one weigh?
I suppose. It could be heavy enough. I just noticed that in between shots, they've put a tent up or taken a tent down over this piece. Something we quite often see is between shots in the flyover, something changes on in the photos. That's a good question, and perhaps personally, I think it looks a bit overbuilt for that. But yeah, perhaps if the new Starlinks are that heavy, and the box itself is quite heavy, isn't it? Which actually, speaking of that, we saw that box go into Megabay 2 through the week as well. It's a good lead in for that. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Hoping it was visible, because that definitely sounds plausible.
And Jake in chat says, to me, it looks like it'll be dropped down inside of something.
Yeah, with those rams, yeah, that's true. Those rams on the outside. Yeah, back to it. Yeah, it kind of indicates something. Yeah, like that. It's like it's got to go down in between something, and these rams come out to interconnect to something else. I agree with
All
that.
right. One other final bit of speculation on this, and that will clear my queue from Crane Man. Could the black frames have anything to do with lifting the hot stage ring on top of the booster with the catch arms? The four hydraulic cylinders could be used to align the hot stage ring with the booster.
Since it's being integrated into the new V3 boosters, it seems like a lot of work for just a couple more launches.
That's an excellent
Yeah,
observation, yeah.
true. Hey, I just had a thought, Alex. Maybe those holes go into there, and the rams. That seems a bit silly. The rams in there, but that. Yeah, I don't know. That was not probably not. No, there's not enough room between the rams on the sides there. No, that's a silly idea.
Actually, it's not, because
Oh, hanging
yeah,
underneath.
well, it would be it'd be hanging from the pins. They'd be the hinge point, and then you could use the rams to move it, or yeah, if you pull up one, push on the others. That's actually pretty good.
Because they have a hole.
Yeah, and if those cylinders, it looks like those pins on those actuators come out, so that would make a lot. That would, yeah, I could totally see that.
I'll definitely have to keep an eye on that in the future.
Yeah, so that the breakover jig is back in the running.
Oh, yeah, because then I could actually lay it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the idea, Crane Man.
It's a rabbit hole.
And the paint schemes are typically indicative of where things go as well, so you never know. But at any rate, my question queue is clear. We can be free to move on if you'd like.
Cool. Just while we're in this area here, there's heaps of new grey steel here, which in both mega bays, they seem to be doing a lot of work on platforms and redoing the mega bays a bit so they don't need to use as much scaffolding, like this great big pile of platforms here and some sort of curved pieces. And they're sort of building a frame here out of some of these pieces. So these are more than likely, although they're grey, normally mega bay stuff's white. So perhaps
They paint it. It very much looks like the platform build, the false floor.
yeah, we see a bit of that already at the build site in the mega bays. Like in here, all this false flooring in here.
Yeah.
So perhaps they're getting more of those up at higher levels, and they can finally be rid of the scaffolding towers that we see them building every time they, like especially in the Mega Bay 2, we saw the ship 37 in the corner just completely covered in scaffolding, which by this stage it'd be nice to see them not have to do that anymore. Oh, just quickly back at Sanchez, I don't know whether we said this last week, but they've moved Test Tank 16 into the scrapyard. So it looks like Test Tank 6 might be getting scrapped. Finally, yep.
Atlanta. Nels Code survives. I'm okay.
26, yeah, the curse of 26 continues. Okay, continuing on with Gigabay, they're moving along with excavating the piles, getting ready to put a pile cap on. It's becoming more and more clear where the workstations are, like here and here, with the little stub walls in between. Of course, the corner here, so the wall section's coming along here. Not sure the wall's going to be right over there or sort of halfway, more than likely on the outside.
Since they're not having the lateral bands like they exist on the exterior, it's probably going to span both of them, and they'll be sort of space frame sort of structures. The
So they've also
lattice.
got these internal walls here to add strength to the walls, to the exterior walls as well, which may help with getting rid of that exterior framework too.
It very much looks like they took 6 gigabays and just plopped them down next to each other.
Yeah, this corner seems to be a bit of void. I noticed the other day when I was trying to work out these side walls. It's almost like this because of the workstation here. So like that whole area is, so where the wall is right over here or over there, sort of like a bit of a void in that area, but still plenty of room.
Elevator shafts, stairwells.
Ah, true. Yep, of course, like the other bays. Yep, that makes perfect sense. We're starting to see the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 workstations along there. The drilling rigs are still drilling away. We can see more piles, can't we, in here? Yeah, all over the place. Not sure what the count is up to. BJ said they're up into the many hundreds by now.
They're wrapping it up.
Yeah, it must be getting close. I can see them, just use Zach's word here, I can see them actually perhaps overtaking Florida's Gigabay here with this one. This site is being worked on 24/7, whereas they don't seem to be doing that at Florida.
They're brilliant, pretty much like they did the megabays, where they worked on the foundation as soon as they had access to it. Meanwhile, in Florida, it seems like they did all the pile work. Now they're doing the pile cap.
Yep.
And the other thing, that looks like they want that corner along Star Factory done sooner, so when they move stuff, they don't have to worry about any shifting, even with the sheet pile wall.
When they move what sort of stuff?
Anything out of the factory looks like they're as soon as the subgrade structure is in on the pile cap, that you don't have to worry about any sort of movement or lateral stress on the ground.
Yep. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Okay. We can move on. So that's about it for Gigabay. We've talked over the last few weeks about the piles and the reinforcement and the concrete and the grout and the additive and everything that's going on there, and the bits of concrete that come and go. I think that's just gravel. Someone was asking earlier, I think that's just gravel under there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the top of what they were compacting.
Yep.
I mean,
And the matting's getting pulled out, isn't it? That they spent so much time putting in. The geotext matting's getting pulled out as they go, I imagine.
it is, but
Yeah.
it still appears that they compacted deeper than the bottom of the pile cap.
Yeah. So being friction, these are friction, aren't they? So they don't actually go into bedrock or anything. This pure friction keeps them as a solid foundation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And pile cap doesn't contribute except for tying everything together.
Yep. Okay, Gigabay 1. Not much happened in Gigabay 1. We didn't see any barrel sections or anything come and go. There I think maybe an elevator section has been removed. They're still working on, except for like no vehicle construction, but they are working on the actual bays a bit. Pretty sure there was 2 elevators. Yeah, that's right. There was 2 of these elevators, and one of them's been removed. So things are changing for the version 3 boosters. We can see the attachment points for that frame over here, and up here, and up there. And I think its frames are down on here. These frames.
It looks like those are the new clamps as well.
Yes, they put the new clamps on this booster stand. So this is getting ready for once the aft section and LOX tank is stacked over this side, the methane gets stacked, and then they get put together. They can then finally chuck the whole booster 18 over onto that stand, at least for now. And as the boosters leave the bays, I guess we'll see the rest of the platforms get upgraded as well. Okay. Another angle of the Gigabay, just quickly. And once again in Megabay 2, this, what's happened? 38's come back since 37 has come back yet, or is it getting transported today?
It's still being disconnected last time I looked.
Oh, cool. So I haven't even looked at the launch site today.
LOX QD HUD looks like it.
Hey, why would you buy your health
Showed
and
up.
wellness
I
product?
haven't seen if they start lifting it yet.
Let's just have a quick look at it. They're still what a mess. They're still disconnecting it. Very good.
The LR 11000 has its main hook down.
Over at the Pad B. Actually, so I'm not even sure if I to use that footage or not. Thanks to NSF there. Anyhow, that's a public. I'm pretty sure that's a public space. We can have a quick look at that.
It's a public stream.
Okay. So yeah, thanks NSF. So not much more to talk about the bays. Obviously, there's a lot of work going on inside. So 38, interestingly, was put on tile face away from the doors. So they can't put engines in 38 right now. They can work on all the tiles. So that's pointing a little bit towards that they're not going to static by 38 before flight 10, isn't it, coming up?
I have my shock face on.
Sarcasm?
Yeah.
So, Marcus, I mean, a lot of people are saying, isn't that kind of a silly idea to have to pull it all off, all that new stuff on the OLM-A and put it back on again? But, I mean, they've got so much time between the next 2 flights. The third flight, the third flight into the future, flight, we got 10, 11, 12. Flight 12 will be from Pad B, so they've got heaps of time, and Booster 18 and Ship 39 nowhere near even being anywhere near ready to be anything happen there. So they've got like a stack of time before Flight 11. So I imagine they'll just bring 37 back, take all that new stuff off the OLM, and then bring out Booster 14. Is it 16 again? Booster 16, isn't it?
You're asking the wrong person. Can never keep track.
That's getting harder and harder. Imagine what it's going to be like when Gigabay is built. We have no idea how to keep track of all the boosters and ships by then.
If only they'd put a label on them.
Yeah, we didn't even see 37 on the on 37 yet, but it isn't finished. It's not out. It's still to go back to the factory and come back out again. So maybe it'll get a decal. Okay, moving right along. Whatever this office building is around the back, they seem to be doing a lot of refurb work in there. We've got some, I guess, drywall. Looks a bit different. It looks a bit different to our Brock.
It's a backside. Most of ours has that craft paper them, and then the finished white surfaces,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and they ship them face to face like that.
Yeah, ours has white. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've been on a construction site. So we've got prefab framework here and some other steel work. So it looks like they're doing a big revamp inside that office. Not sure what it is exactly or why they're redoing the interior walls, but anyhow. Thankfully, Tank 4 is still missing. I don't think it's ever coming back. I'm just joking. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a bit of exterior concrete, I guess. We saw all the concrete inside finished. Not sure why there's a strip around the outside still to be done.
That's just a border around the foundation, the slab.
Oh, there's some pop-ups.
More power.
Never enough power, is there? Oh, they've still got those downcomers to hook up. Okay. Oh, we're going okay on the time, Alex. We're filling our time yet.
Oh, good.
Is that a roll of ship egg?
It's a Starship egg.
The Starship egg.
Ship 42. What are you talking about?
Haven't seen one of them for quite some time, eh?
Right?
So that is where they're coming in. So I guess soon they'll be going via that little extension building. Moving around. I don't think there's a lot to talk about in the new ring yard version 2, Mark 2.
There's nothing on that stand workstation, building station.
What are they building here? That's different. Build something
Another
here.
ring. Probably one of those hoop rings.
Oh, these ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're stacking them up.
Those are the stiffeners stack. I think the bottom ones are the ones underneath the barrel. Yeah, those are the ones they usually put on the top to keep everything round. It's been a while since we've seen barrels being assembled, though.
Hi, Ryan Webber. Okay. Moving on to the new multi-story apartment block. They've poured their concrete. I think we saw that last week. And looks like there's going to be room under here for cars to park. This ramp will continue up here. And looks like it'll be set on. I think these beams go up through to the higher floors as well as hold the ramp up. Because they're so big.
There's the prefab panels being installed.
Yes, so as I expected to see them. These little marks you can see in all the slabs here, they're the little attachment points for the bottom. They can access through a little tiny hole, through a little hole. They can access the bottom of where they bolt down to the concrete. There was another photo. I can't remember what it was now. There is another photo showing them better. I'm not going looking for that now.
Yeah, there's one on Sanchez with a panel on a truck. Highway 4.
Oh yeah, there's one. Yep. Oh, there's those little holes down the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bottom. Thank you.
Yep.
Got their bits of concrete to hold them up. It's pretty cool.
And the little lip to lower the ceiling on.
Oh, yep, that's right, yep. Oh, the shot showed that well. Oh, not there. Anyhow. Yeah, there's a little lip on top. Yeah, for concrete floor, which is probably prefab again, I'd imagine.
I would think so.
So it's going to be built a lot like the parking garage, all panels, interlocking, and what have you. Okay. Moving on to the rest of the village. These lower altitude images are so good. They've continuing to work on the rec center area over here. LBJ starting to get some. Oh, okay, they're gonna have concrete all the way to the hovercraft landing strip.
Looks like they're putting pipe in front of the pool.
Yeah, trench work here for the new rec center, I guess. And a little bit of a clean out in this area.
Oh,
And
yeah.
LBJ is getting lots of work done. Sorry, Alex. I'm sure there was a building there. Anywho.
I thought it was one of, or at least a pile of shipping containers as a building, but yeah. There was definitely something there previously.
Yeah, those prefabs are those prefab sections are more than likely going to be used for the whole building, aren't they? Even up on the higher levels, I'd imagine.
Okay.
Oh no, unless they go timber up high like they did it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
they usually, they love podiums.
I don't like the timber on top of concrete. I think if you started on concrete, why not at least go to steel? Like this one, steel frame. So LBJ is still not being able to use really. It should be getting concreted soon though in its new upgraded form. New gate goes in here somewhere. I think with that we can go to questions for the build site, Joe.
All right. A question from Brady G111 regarding the Gigabay piles. When could they start the pile cap now that they have holes dug?
They're probably going to put down the blinding layer very soon and be assembling that rebar, laying that rebar. And
Well, they're already breaking the pile caps here, getting ready for. Thought they're doing that before the blinding layer.
yeah, they're cropping them.
So there's two of those machines. Yeah, so yeah, crop the piles, lay a blinding layer, start putting rebar. Soon, very soon.
All right, that'll
Definitely by next week, I'd imagine there's going to be starting to do rebar work in this area.
cool. That'll be fun to see. I want to thank Drew Nar for a Canadian 5 super chat with a big thanks to the RGB crew for all the work that you do and keeping me company working on a Saturday. Right on. Get back to work, Drew. He also has a question. Does it look like Megabay 1 is blocking access to the south aisle of Gigabay?
Let me look. Not really. Where's the shot over that way? Hang on. There's that aisle in here. There's room in here for vehicle parts to come through here. Boy, it's close though, I must say, because that fence will go. So they've actually got sort of from that white line over to or wherever the wall ends up being, probably over here somewhere. So there's room in there.
It's probably right by the sheep piles.
Okay, yep.
All right,
Question,
cool.
mate.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that clears me up. I do want to take a second to remind everybody, if you're watching in full screen or on your TV, jump into a device that you can hit that thumbs up for us and do all the YouTube things. But yeah, let's move on.
Okay, let's do that. How is chat going? You all having a good time in chat over there? I haven't even looked at it, actually.
Yeah, going well. Everybody having a good time?
Sometimes glance over there. I can see a few familiar faces in there. Good to see. Okay, Pista Resistance, the launch site. Okay, let's start at Pad B. I'm going to follow Zach's lead here and call this Pad A and Pad B. I know there's a lot of talk about that, but I've decided I have to decide to stay with one or the other, so I'm going with Pad A and Pad B. Okay, so we saw the new hood arrive, the lock side, I believe, through the week.
Just showed up today, I think.
Yep, but not been installed yet.
I think it's on the hook.
Oh, that's what perhaps the SpaceX crane's got its hook lowered for, maybe, hopefully, perhaps.
It was lifting it off the SPMTs earlier. So yeah.
Sweet. So this bit of the corner section's been finished up on the wall. You had it the other way around, but we had it the wrong way around as to which of these pieces went on which side, but these pieces go on this side and the pieces we saw last week went on that side. So this side also has a walk through, a cutout, I guess, to get to that bit of plumbing that's down on that little corner down there. And of course this side has a walk-through cutout for, of course, on two different levels, Alex, maybe two, one above the other, for access into this BQD. Yeah, I thought that access is too low for that BQD access, I thought, when I saw it last week. It's more that one for the BQD, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's the top floor. Looks like where all the stairways and stuff actually, and all the, because you only have half of the lower floor is, if looking from this side, you can see the top of the wall where everything's running.
Cool. So still a lot of heat mat wiring, so good to see some of that get removed soon enough.
More tarps.
Yeah, more tarps this week, which is a good thing. So over the next few weeks, we'll get another top-down shot with all the tarps removed, and everything should be in place and completed and ready for a booster. But obviously, there's still, it's in a lot of construction. There's the main construction is sort of some of the job, then all the fitting off sometimes can be sort of a more time consuming part of the whole job. So, but they are seem to be rapidly finishing things up. We should see this starting to get clad in the next few weeks. Still no flex lines for the BQDs yet, but that shouldn't be too far away. Have we seen those flex lines yet? Sometimes they'll show up. Not yet.
No, they're not on site. They might be in Sancho's.
Yeah. Now this bottom corner is interesting, that they're bringing conduits over here from those bolts, and they're bringing this line in here. Now this line, we'll start with this line here, which runs under all those slabs, and it runs along just here, and then it scoots across here and pops, it's under the ground here somewhere. So originally thought was drainage, but now thinking more it's fresh water, either to recover water from the retention pond, or there's going to be a freshwater line somewhere over here. But I think the freshwater line we saw in this area, so which would fill those tanks. So I'm not sure about freshwater coming down along here. It could.
They're running lines all over the site.
Yeah. So one thing about a retention pond here, With this conduit here, it means there's no depth to dig a retention pond here. So
If
maybe
you look where the excavator is, um, the framing for the retaining wall for the side of it.
down here.
Yeah, you can source the wood on the right side. There's another angle where you can see where, yeah,
Oh, down in there.
yeah, for the new retaining, because it has to be a concrete bottom pond for their to be in compliance with your environmental regulations.
Is that just? Oh, is that not just a wall?
Yeah, it's the footer for the wall for the retention pond.
So maybe there is enough depth here.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably down 6 feet from the height, the ground level of the gantry structure.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take what I said earlier back then. Because our thought is if that was the case, maybe they're going to put the retention pond out here, and maybe they're going to start recovering some of this land in the near future.
They do have a lot of land to tread.
Yeah, with that big. Oh no, that area's humongous over near the build site. I saw another map of it the other day, and it's quite extensive. The amount of land they brought in there.
It's
Oh, they've got a shot. Yeah, it's out here. There's a massive big lump of land. Oh, sorry, out
yeah,
here. Sorry.
pretty much from there all the way to the shipping channel.
Yeah, it's huge. See, this photo shows just how close it actually is through there, doesn't it? Cool. Anyhow, I digress. As usual. That was a good
Squirrel.
angle over here. Yeah, there's so many squirrels around here. So, because there's only 5 days between flyovers, sometimes it's hard to remember which there's been new or not. So they're preparing this area for the extension of the flame trench like they did on the other end. The flame trench, getting all this prepared, getting ready to tie rebar in. Guess that's for safety, all those little caps there. You can see here where the final grade's going to be right up here as well. Boy, lots of little bits and pieces of concrete, isn't there, they've left out in the past. Over here, they've laid some concrete in this little area, but we can see they're going to bring grade up to that level, like over here. They're starting to cover up trenches, which is looking good. This photo is actually a good photo to see these side panels. We haven't seen these as clear as this, where they've added these panels in the side here to protect to stop the plume going underneath the bucket, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen the end pieces installed yet.
On the pipes?
By the wall.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think there might be a triangle in there too, underneath?
Yeah, they're probably going to block that off as well.
Yeah. So is that fully sealed? Would that be fully sealed, or would they allow a bit of a gap for some air in and out?
There's going to be a gap.
Yeah.
You
can sort of see it, can't you?
So some of it looks like they weld. That's a good question, actually. They've been welding everything, so.
I like asking difficult questions. The slab that's on an angle.
How dare you?
For all OCDians out there, OCDians. Now, I think we
of
got
us
it.
children.
Actually had my photos sorted out this week. Thought we had an angle over that way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can see it, it's slightly on an angle. And the thought there is to do with the chopsticks, because the angle has to be quite precise, and they need to clear the actual launch mount. So it's angled this way, isn't it? This side's closer This side's
Yes.
further away, isn't it? This side's further away.
Yeah, it's at almost the extreme travel of the chopstick to lift the ship to avoid the aft flaps hitting the OLM. Thought there was a photo from that.
Yeah, me too. So quickly flash through. That one, there we go. Yeah, so here it's closer than here. And up here, there's that beautiful piece of plumbing that Alex loves. Oh, we
Luckily,
can't
it's
quite
hidden
see it.
here.
It's a little bit hidden under here, over here. So this little corner piece is missing. I mean, the manifold up in here, it's a little bit narrower through here. And Ryan Hansen, here he's done his modelling that it's precisely to allow the ship's flap to fit through. Now, he was saying when the flap is open, why couldn't they lift with the flap closed?
I think they're using the flaps partially for weight distribution to keep it more vertical. So it's swinging them in or out will, whichever direction they happen to be, will move the center a balance one way or the other.
Good question. Why so tight? What happens when they add legs? Well, legs are a long way off to start with.
The chopsticks are slightly, with the geometry as they're set everything up, the chopsticks would need to be about 2 meters longer to shift the tower basically a meter or so further away from the trench wall.
That's why this is on angle. So they actually reach a little bit past parallel to the trench. Yeah, it is very close. Well, they've got it. Well, they can't have the tower much further away because obviously the sticks have to reach to put the vehicles over here. I think it's from the down shot. It's pretty close to being the ship or booster being right at the very end.
Yeah, the sticks need to be like half a truss segment longer, would have helped give them more clearance. But yeah, the lifting and stacking point is almost at the far extreme of the chopsticks.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work in this area too. I'm still not exactly sure what it's for. So we're having a bit of a deep dive about these the little
Pushers?
trucks, the little pushers, yeah. So one set of pushers can push the whole length, but unlike pad A, this side pusher can only push a little tiny bit.
Right, because pad A, they're basically twice as long. So if it landed on the far end of the tips, you'd have to push it to about the center. That's about on the other ones where the stacking point is. And these, they essentially just chopped off half of the length.
Yep, cool. Which will make them, faster and more accurate and less prone to bouncing.
You'll change the frequency of the bounce. It'll still be.
But won't there be less momentum in the bounce?
It's still a spring. It's only mounted at one point, so it's going to oscillate. It just will change the frequency. And
cool. Okay. So we can see the nice little path they made for ship 37 as expected. Appears that's what's going to be the norm in the future to bring vehicles or launch vehicles through here, which is I like it. And like Pad A, they're going to have to come through past and then back into the chopsticks. That's no biggie, because they do that at Pad A anyway. Oh, more drums. Okay, I think last fly we saw these valve bodies being placed. What are all these pipes?
That's geofabrics that they're putting underneath the concrete.
Yeah. So this week there's a better shot too. They've added this manifold in this week to hook up to those little green pipes underneath there. Let me find another shot. Maybe. Oh, that one shows the manifold. Little green pipes under there.
There's a shot from the gantry side looking this way that shows it pretty clear.
That one will do. Oh, maybe one of these is better.
Yeah,
That one will do. So 4 of these, yeah, we're getting hooked onto them, and then there's 2 more that are for something
probably
else.
One's a sump, probably about the furthest sump, one on each side. It looks like those blue things under that first tank are probably the sump pumps.
These little blue things look like mini 3D printed Raptors.
Yep, those are probably the sump pumps for.
So they're going in the trench, yeah?
Yeah, there's that great big trash can size hole on either side.
We can't quite almost
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom. You can see half of it. Right to
here,
yeah. There's another shot angle where you can see it really clearly. Yeah, that
there's
one
one
will
on the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they're
I think so.
suction lift pumps.
Yeah, you have to push the water up.
I mean, sorry, there's some pumps pushing the water up, sorry.
Yeah.
Lift pumps, yeah. Okay, so it's not. I expected to see some of these links put in this week, but they're not in yet. So you can see that some of these hook up from there to over to here. So, and there's heaps of those. There's heaps of those connections in amongst here for these lot.
It looks like they're those two are the methane ones, and they're combining. There's 3 methane ones have been combined on the other side of where they're popping up out of that vault.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
seem they go. They're like in parallel, shipping the booster.
No, I'm talking about it popping out of the vault of those 4 lines, right to the right. Yeah, they've been tied together.
And that's pre-chill, isn't it? Pre-chilling the cryo lines.
It's I think it's actually to when they're when they're draining the lines pre-launch, but they also could be used because they are for gas.
Okay, something I noticed maybe last week, but there's 2 on each of these, like it's redundant, like there's going to be 2. So there's
2 sets of valves. Yeah.
3 sets of 2.
Yeah, and on another top down, you can see on the nitrogen and lux. Yeah, this one will show it.
Because the other ones are underneath there, and these ones are on top, and then there's 2 more on
the methane on
line.
top. Yeah. And then the nitrogen, and then the oxygen, all gaseous.
Yeah, so that's sort of like pre-press, and this is sort of like the high pressure, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, those are all off the pre-press lines. Or the, the 30 bar lines.
And then the smaller high pressure CPV lines.
Yeah, they're 200, I think. 350 or 400 bar.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you think it was so energetic when it let go?
Yeah, right, yeah, true. Yeah, she certainly popped with a massive amount of force. The cryo and return methane lines for the ship going up the tower here are actually pretty well in the bunker, so that's still got to be connected. So all those little areas, slowly, they're starting to tidy up. There's still, there's barely enough room there, isn't there, to get the SPMT tank through there, but they'll have to remove that pipe, I guess, but that's neither here nor there.
Or they'll crane it in.
Yeah, I guess. So the LR 11,000's good enough to crane that in, I guess. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Or even a dual lift with a couple of smaller ones. Now, did that valve get put in? No, that valve's still not in, is it? Neither of these valves are in yet. But we saw it moved. It was over here. They've moved it somewhere.
Bet it's hiding under one of those tanks.
Yeah, I like hiding things. So hopefully soon we'll see this pipe hooked up for this manifold. I'm a bit sort of confused here. They're going to have these 4 or 5 of these 4 units. Then they've got these 2 units for these 2 tanks, and then these 3 units are going to service these 4 or eventually 5.
There's additional room for more of the gas generators on that manifold.
Yeah, gas generator, that's the word I was looking for. It looks like these are pretty well finished up with all their plumbing and wiring, and these ones over here still require some wiring by the look of it.
I don't know if we had a good shot this week of them. I believe since they were before the static fire, they're sort of just doing laps above, and we didn't get any of the really nice top-down shots.
No, not so good this week for that area. Yeah, there was they're circling around because there was a static fire attempt happening that day. And it ended up being scrubbed, didn't it, that day?
Yeah, a boat.
Well, we're not sure. Maybe the boat, yeah. Some people saying it wasn't close enough. Some people saying it was well and truly close enough. So I'm a bit unsure myself.
When in doubt, blame a boat.
Always. Okie this week they've made the concrete dirty. Oh, they're doing this double slab thing again, are they? The slab down the bottom and the slab on top.
Yeah, one's structural and one's isolated.
Yeah.
Looks like they're putting elevator vaultings in this one.
Yeah, not sure what they're doing here. It hasn't had any conduits or anything come into it. It's kind of just a bit of a dip in that bottom concrete.
Yeah, it's just a pit. Looks like a elevator pit.
So, do we think it's for gas generators, or do we think they're going to move this building? I mean,
I think they're moving that building.
yeah, that's personally what I think too.
And if you look from the other side, they really haven't connected most of the control
Yeah, there's
cables.
been some connections, but yeah, not a great deal of connections. Hang on. This photo might show it. No.
Oh wow, they did connect a bunch of them.
Yeah, they connected some, but it doesn't look permanent. And there's many more. There was some went underneath as well, and some over here as well. But I kind of visualize that as just a gigantic junction box for now until they get this built.
Yeah, that's my opinion as well. That even the retaining wall behind it looks It's half dug out, so it looks like everything's going to slowly be or quickly removed when they can.
Was that photo?
Yeah.
Retaining wall. Behind
The
there.
curve, yeah. That's half dug out right now.
Yeah. So there's still that weird grade through here.
They've been slowly. It'll once this is built, it should be a similar height because it's going to be elevated from street level.
Yeah, they've built up heaps in through here. Yeah. Okay, so just quickly, there's the dance platform for the OLM, and over at Hoppy was of course, the transport stand for the ship.
Scaffolding included.
Oh, there's scaffolding included. Yeah, getting ready to go back. Oh, here it is. Here, getting ready to go back and get more. So once they that's the ship transport stand. It's over at the launch pad now. So going back to that photo again. Once they get rid of take the ship down, of course they've got to do all the alignment for all the clamps. So they'll need all that scaffolding put back up again. They have to unbolt this new, the ship adapter ring, and then put all the clamps back in. They have to realign all the clamps again and take down all that extra stuff around the outside, all that stuff.
Love it.
I'll come back here. I'll come back there in a second. There we go. Oh, cool. We're going to do our time easy, Alex.
I know.
That's always the case. I'm always worried about not filling in the 2 hours. Next minute, 2.5 hours is gone.
Don't tempt fate.
Okay, so not much has changed in here since last week when we saw that bit of methane testing. You're saying they used actual methane for testing. I was saying they were going to use nitrogen, but it's actually used methane all the way back from the tanks,
Yep.
which is cool.
Especially
So
if they fired up any of the pumps. But yeah,
Yeah,
last
'cause
week it was all the way back here.
Yeah, that was frost all the way back here. So that's, you're saying, and you're correcting me nicely, that these pump systems can't handle liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, it's a density issue.
Yep. Just to put to rest the argument whether they use nitrogen or methane, which the whole system is quite capable of safely handling methane now anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they probably pressurized it with nitrogen gas just to make sure nothing leaked to proof it, and then all methane all the time.
Like an ambient pressure test.
Yeah.
So that ambient pressure test, we're talking ambient temperature pressure test there, not ambient pressure. So ambient temperature means that the nitrogen will be in its gas form rather than in its liquid form, which is opposed to a cryogenic test, which is cryogenic temperature test.
Right.
So they still haven't hooked up the old methane tanks, and they may not even. So these tanks should be big enough to service a launch, yeah, from Pad B.
Potentially those and the other two for sure, but these two are probably enough for one launch.
These two.
Yeah, if you look on the vapor liquid return, there's two extra inputs to it. One that's the very top left, right of the screen. Yeah, right there is one of them.
Yeah. Probably got a better shot of that, but yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
And those
Okay.
small tanks have a nice home at McGregor, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't wait to see them be gone, to be honest. I'm sure
Can't wait
I'm not.
for all of this to be gone.
Yes, yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, I can even see these these two tanks going and just more of these tanks coming in, to be honest. Although, like you say, you've got those extra points here. Maybe these will stay, I guess. I could handle that, I suppose.
Short term, they'll probably stay. Long term, I think that whole area is going to be reworked.
Yeah, all of this, I'm pretty sure all this is going to get fully disappeared. So once again, they use 2 hippos for the static fire. Oh, this is the first load. So they use 2 hippos for the static fire load on the lock side, and I think all but 1 pump, perhaps.
The whole manifold gets flooded on
Anyway.
and when it detanks, it also flood the behind. But there's only 2 of them are connected to the ship and 1 methane subcooler.
Yeah.
So they couldn't have used the additionals. Well, they could use the back ones, never mind.
Well, they're just for the tower, though, aren't they? They get plumbed just to the tower, don't they?
No, I forget. No, I have to look it up.
That's
I didn't. I thought.
That's what they split the tower. They used to split it in here. Nowadays, they split it in here.
Yeah.
Or back here. So they could isolate only this pump, I think, this time, shutting that valve and that valve.
Those 2 pumps are the middle pump. The second pump is a redundant pump, so it can be used redirected either for the ship or the booster. But that end one is a primary ship pump.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. And then, because this is all in parallel manifold, even though they're using only 2 hippos chilled, some of the locks would have, unless they could do something about it down in here. No, they can't, because they parallel in and parallel out.
It's parallel when they're detanking, that manifold is open, the lower one. If you look on the left, the big frosty valve, a little bit further, that's the drain when they're detanking. So it'll flood the entire lines.
Comes back around, out here. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, on to ship 37. We can see it's at a hold here, I think, at this stage. I think this is as full as it got. And they're on a hold at this point in time of the static fire attempt. Oh, 1 hippo over there. Okay. So what else have we left out on the launch site this week? Nothing really important. I think we can, while we're thinking about that, we can go to, I suppose there's this site here we can have a quick look at. They've cleared more of the land, sort of open up. We can see the shape that they're going to end up being, which is unusual, different.
And we did have pictures of the similar size ASUs they're building in Brownsville.
We do too. 1 second. I believe it's this area here.
That's it.
So this is at Brownsville. The new air separation unit over at Brownsville.
The only thing that would probably be missing is the large round storage tanks they're building.
Like this one here?
Yeah. They'd probably replace it with another of the hot dog tanks.
Oh, this is new though, isn't it? What?
That's a bulk storage tank. It'll be a round tank probably for the locks are built. It depends how they're biasing this one, if it's going to be bulk storage for nitrogen or oxygen, but usually oxygen, because nitrogen you can make a a heck of a lot more quicker.
Now, Event Dudes did find us for us. It's in this area here in Brandsville, somewhere out. I think that's hang on. There's a further away shot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this highway here is that highway there. So it's somewhere somewhere here or here, somewhere just in this area. It was, let me see if I can quickly find.
I thought it was lower. Like, I thought you could almost see the part of the shipping channel in it, but I could be mistaken.
So there it is there between 550 and Paradise Line Road. So somewhere like there it is, right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Google, update your photos.
Thanks, Event Dudes. You're pretty awesome at finding things for us. Appreciate your time.
Pretty awesome. He's a machine. I don't know how he does it. Amazing. Absolutely amazing what he tracks down.
This little picture, I think this is from BJ or Cumulus. I'm not sure. I think this might have
BJ.
started being a BJ's, yeah.
It's like BJ. I think Cumulus might have done some labeling, but
Oh, okay, yeah, courtesy of BJ. So that's roughly what I know it's a bit of a sidetrack once again, but yeah, it's a bit of a sidetrack to show you what the Gigabay should look like. It's like more piles than workstations, isn't it?
it's a tall structure, and those bridge cranes. A lot of load up high and not a lot of lateral bracing.
Yeah. So back to the AC unit. Yeah, they got there's a lid for this bulk tank. So they're not as high pressure as these sort of tanks, are they? These bulk tanks, or
Pretty much everything here is going to be stored at ambient pressure. Because when you pressurize it, boiling point goes up, so it's not as good.
Okay, I think I need to do a science lesson on how ASUs work.
You can.
So we can expect to see a similar sort of setup here.
Yes.
Cool. All right, well, let's jump over to some questions and donations, please, Joe.
Sure thing. I'd like to thank Yazada for a $10 super chat saying thanks to Mauricio and crew for the favorite part of my Saturdays. Yeah, I think we'd all agree with that as well. Thanks for the support, Yazada.
Thank you.
A question from Drunar. Does that retention pond plumbing connect to the drains on the side of Highway 4? And that question was back from the beginning of the launch site here. Yeah, there you go.
No, they don't. This corner is a bit lower. They do have a discharge permit for basically where that yellow excavator is in that corner. Yeah.
Or over here, maybe.
It's right where the excavator would be. Yeah, right there is where, at least in the documents, where they can legally discharge with their license.
Cool,
All
thank
right,
you.
that explains that. I am a little light on questions here today, but Crane Man has a good question I suggested we might close the show out with. Could you dive into what needs to be done for Flame Trench at Pad A? What can be removed from the OTF for Pad A when the new orbital tank farm section will start to be used? So basically kind of a conversion from Pad A to a Flame Trench. What do y'all think?
I'm of the opinion that Pad A won't. The tower will probably stay, but the actual launch mount will be moved into the mud flats. somewhere there, or yeah. Digging out the old deluge, you'd have to remove everything. The trench would have to be basically angled and I don't think there's enough room without going into the mud flats to build the whole GSC support. Also, they seem to like standardizing, and this tower is very much a one-off. So it has a lot of personality.
Personality.
That's
Yeah.
one way to put it.
Yeah, and pretty much everything of its existing ground support infrastructure would have to go. Again, for the same reason, they're standardizing. And if you looked at how most of the valves and assemblies came for the new OLM and support building, they were all prefabbed off-site, lifted and bolted into place, and then you're just connecting lines, so everything can be tested. And you're building it almost an assembly line, especially with the number of pads that you're going to have active in the near future.
So that could leave this tower for a catch-only tower, perhaps, even?
Yes. As much as people don't like the idea of a catch-only tower for a logistics point of view, if you have a booster stacked on the pad B, you won't be able to catch a ship on with it. So you move the booster day later, 12 hours after launch is the shortest window you'd probably have to bring a ship back in from orbit. But more than likely 12. I have to look at their orbits if it's 12 is the shortest. But yeah.
Yeah,
Not to
12 puts
mention
them on the other phase, doesn't it? On the other
yeah,
angle.
I think it would be 12 because they're going to want it's going to come on when it's heading towards the north on the uphill phase is where they're going to deorbit because they're coming in over Mexico is their primary and if they're coming on the down leg, they'd be coming across California, and so far they haven't had it in any of their documents. So I think that would be 12 hours, but yeah.
So they launch down, and they launch down this way, and 12 hours later the phase is running this way. Then 24 hours after launch, it's back to that way again.
Yes.
So they don't have to come over. Can't they just miss California?
It's none of the. It depends what angle your orbital planes that you're.
Yeah.
But all the documents so far have it coming from the south to the north.
Yeah. So up over the bottom of Mexico, basically.
Yeah.
Up through sort of that angle through here somewhere.
Yep.
Is that because it's less populated, or is it going to come straight, or is it?
It's a little bit more vertical than the north-south than that. It's just orbital mechanics.
Yeah.
And you're in your set plane. It's really hard to switch. Yes. And then I haven't seen how much downrange mobility the ship has so when it's coming in, how much they can start turning, and they haven't really announced much. But the Slick 37 documentation has just a fixed entry towards that, so they obviously can steer it a little bit.
So in Florida, they can have one catch tower to service pad 37 and 39A, because you don't need you don't need, like, one catch tower can service sort of more than 2 launch towers, I think.
Yeah, it's however long it takes to safe and lower the vehicle,
Yeah.
and they still haven't decided in any of the documents if they're just going to continue to vent the 12 or so tons of methane, or if they're going to eventually they want to flare it off, but I don't think they put a burner on any of their vents yet.
So we remember ages back was the original plan, and there was a tower in this area back then. And we were surmising that perhaps they'd be roughly parallel the flame trenches, so the flame trench sort of in this direction over here, with the
Yeah.
tower over here.
Yeah, it'd be very reminiscent of just taking pad B and translating it.
Yeah, and that's something to do with that big land purchase in here to trade off. Were you saying 50 to 1?
It used to be around 50. It's around 70 to 1 with some of the numbers. Because the thing is with the mud flats is we don't know currently. They have a couple of the universities of how to recreate it, which is kind of funny because a lot of these were just formed in the 60s when that hurricane went through. So
yeah, I find it a bit. I mean, I'm not going to say anything politically, but I find it a bit interesting that this wetlands is massive. It goes all the way through Mexico as well. Like, it's huge. Sorry about that. Like, it's all the way down. Like, it's a massive, massive big wetland. If you include all of the side, the American side and the Mexican side, and what Starbase want to use is this tiny, tiny little square in here. Seems like doesn't seem like much to ask to have that little bit of land, considering just how massive these wetlands really are.
yeah, and most of that South Bay was in that purchase they did on the previous Google map you had up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, most of that. Yeah, most of that. Just south, or where you're circling, and close to the port, right up there that you're circling, is the original land SpaceX bought and gave to the wildlife for mitigating their existing construction. It's a launch pad.
Yeah.
And then compared to the damage of that compared to the harbor. But
yeah.
And then this opens up Pandora's box of we can't go there.
So this little bit of land should easily be able to be recovered, even the whole lot. I think they should probably recover the whole lot at once, even though they really only need this little. Because I'd love to see this. A lot of people are saying they'd love to see this area, especially filled in. It seems weird that it's even still there at this late stage. But hopefully we'll see that change very soon.
There's a very good chance it'll change in the next 9 months.
Okay, thank you, Joe. That was a big deep dive there.
Yeah, for sure. And chat is conversing amongst themselves regarding, say, maybe just the ease of a catch tower at, well, regardless of the location, whether it be 37, 39, or here at Starbase. If we were to just have a catch, we're talking, simplicity, whatever. But then there's the fact of having all the plumbing for the detanking and the deluge. Why not just make it a launch tower at the same time if we're going to have all that infrastructure in there for the back end of landing? What do you think about that?
For detanking, in all of their environmental documents, it's around, I think they say 19 or 20 some tons. Half of it, more or less, is LOX that they're just going to boil, and they haven't decided if they're going. There's no talk of recovering the methane other than venting it to the atmosphere or flaring it in any of their documents. It's to recover that small amount would be a challenge, especially as it's boiling in the tank. you're up against a deadline of overpressurizing it, so you have to either burn or vent it. The deluge would be substantially less than a launch tower, as well as you're not having any of the ground infrastructure that's needed to support the launch vehicle. For essentially everything in that gantry GSC bunker would be gone. All of those cryogenic pipes are gone. It's literally just the hydraulics or the chopsticks and all the computers support.
So
And
logistically, though, to have ideally having a booster, booster lands, ship comes along, put the ship on top, booster takes off, booster lands, ship comes along, gets stacked on top, booster takes off, lands. They need a catch tower. Logistically, I think the system needs a catch tower
yeah,
for the ships.
and this using the chopsticks, you have a limited range of motion, and even in if you could, say, catch 180 degrees, would you want to catch with the boosters there? I would say no. That just seems like blasting it with a sea level hypersonic flow would not be good for it. And everybody says, oh, hot staging, but a rarefied atmosphere is sort of the difference of your faucet versus a fire hose that's shooting 300 feet. You're kind of arguing those magnitudes of force difference.
Well, that's pretty logical observation and analysis. That pretty well sums it up. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Well,
Thank you,
I
Joe.
do believe that is about all I've got. I suppose we could wrap it up.
All right, I'll start by thanking Alex very much once again for your time. You seem to be doing a lot of our live streams these days, so I appreciate again you jumping in and sharing your expertise. And we did well with our time, so thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. It's always fun, and I love doing the shows. And thanks for everybody who makes them possible. Back to you, Steph. Or did you?
Yeah, that's right. I'll say goodbye. So goodbye from me. I'm Stephanie B from Australia. I'm Aussie Space Girl Online. So thank you all for dropping by, and I'll let Joe thank all the crew, and see you all next week.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a fun show. Always a pleasure joining the stream with you, Steph and Alex. Thanks for your time and knowledge. Thanks for an awesome YouTube chat. Everybody's been having a good time over there today. Appreciate that. Thanks, Mauricio and Fred, for taking the flight and getting these awesome pictures for us. And our awesome stream engineer, Matt, turning the knobs, pushing the buttons, and also filled in for doing a little bit of the scheduling for Jen this week. So thanks for that. Most engines cut off. Hot staging confirmed. Love you. Bye.